Welcome to this Historical Explainer. If you look across the landscape of India, you'll literally find thousands upon thousands of temples. Some are famous because, well, legendary kings commissioned them, while others are known for these profound, unexplained miracles. But today, we're going to look at something far more sweeping. We're diving into the quintessential thousand-year epic of the ancient Indian temple. And let me tell you, this isn't just some dry architectural review. No, this is a story steeped in rich history, boundless devotion, intriguing mystery, and the actual everyday lives of the people who built them.
Okay, let's dive into this, because the question we're asking today completely challenges what we assume. It's so easy, right? You walk into a grand, ancient structure, look at the altar, and think, okay, this is simply where people come to pray. But honestly, believing that means missing the entire heartbeat of these magnificent places. These temples were the absolute center of gravity for society. They were the ultimate intersection where art, the economy, education, and basically human survival all met. To understand how a temple functioned is to really understand how early civilization thrived. So, let's travel back a millennium and see exactly how this whole story begins.
Chapter 1. The Beginning of a Dream.
Imagine stepping back in time, about 1,000 years ago. Picture this great king standing on his palace balcony, looking out over his vast kingdom. He's not just a ruler obsessed with expanding borders through war. Actually, he's deeply invested in the long-term peace, prosperity, and spiritual well-being of his people. He knows that to truly unite his kingdom, he needs a focal point, a monumental anchor that's going to outlast his own reign. As the story goes, the king goes to sleep and experiences this profound divine vision right in the dead of night. In the dream, he gets a crystal-clear command: build a grand, awe-inspiring temple exactly at the base of a specific, towering mountain in his kingdom. And he wakes up completely transformed by this. He doesn't even hesitate. The very next morning, he issues a royal decree, calling in the absolute best sculptors, engineers, and architectural masterminds from every single corner of his land. And this brilliantly illustrates the sheer scale of ancient project management. What starts as a single divine vision requires decades of intense, back-breaking labor. We are talking about thousands of artisans hand-carving intricate epics into solid granite. They were moving stones that weighed up to 80 tons using nothing but elephants and massive earthen ramps. No modern machinery whatsoever. These people dedicated their entire lives to this one singular goal. Finally, the grand temple emerges from the dust. But here's the crucial part. As these artisans worked year after year, they obviously needed places to sleep, eat, and live, right? So slowly but surely, small clusters of villages naturally began forming around the construction site.
Chapter 2. The Grown Metropolis. Once the construction was finally wrapped up and the temple consecrated, the energy of the whole region completely shifted. The building phase was done, but the true life of the temple? That was just waking up. We instantly transitioned from a quiet, methodical building site into this bustling, highly energetic environment. What was basically just a small, quiet village of stonecutters rapidly transformed into a massive economic hub. The temple doors opened, and suddenly hundreds of devotees start arriving every single day. But it wasn't just the pious who showed up. Merchants saw a massive opportunity. Artists, dancers, and musicians arrived to offer their talents. The temple basically became the ultimate employer and the central bank of the region. It hired priests, guards, garland makers, cooks, and accountants. It leased out land. It collected taxes. What started out as a spiritual endeavor totally transformed that quiet mountain base into the beating economic heart of the entire territory.
And because thousands of people were now flocking to this hub, rapid infrastructural growth just naturally exploded around the temple walls. Massive, vibrant markets sprang up, selling silk, spices, you name it. Grand, geometric stepwells were dug out, and some of these were so vast and intricately designed, they actually generated their own cooling microclimates, just to ensure a constant water supply for drinking and ritual bathing. And, this is incredibly important, schools were established right within the temple complexes. They taught ancient texts, astronomy, mathematics, philosophy. The village had effectively become a massive, self-sustaining metropolis.
Chapter 3. A Dark Time of Trials. Let's move to and see how this builds across our timeline, because, as we know, history is rarely a continuous upward climb. After centuries of prosperity, that glorious era was abruptly shattered. The winds of foreign invasions swept across the land. Great cities fell, wealth was plundered, and the people living around our grand temple suddenly found themselves living in absolute fear. Their monumental center of gravity was under a very real, direct threat of being erased entirely. But this is where the true bravery of the community really shines. Instead of running away, the people united in total secrecy.
Under the cover of darkness, they moved the central statues to safe, hidden locations. They grabbed their ancient documents, we're talking delicate palm leaf manuscripts treated with turmeric and neem oil just to survive the centuries, and they walled them up or buried them deep underground to keep them safe. They sacrificed literally everything to preserve their heritage until that long, dark night of invasions finally passed and a cautious peace returned.
Chapter 4. A Resurgence Again. When peace finally settled back over the land, the people stepped out of the shadows. The temple was still standing. It might have been battered and scarred, sure, but its spirit was entirely unbroken. A triumphant, booming energy swept through the metropolis. It was time to dust off the hidden past, bring those sacred statues out from their secret sanctuaries, and begin the massive collective effort of breathing life right back into the stone. And you have to understand, this wasn't just a physical repair job, it was a massive cultural revival. A brand new generation of artisans meticulously repaired the broken architectural parts. Those grand, colorful festivals that hadn't been seen for decades, they were reinstated and with way more vigor than ever before. Word spread like wildfire across the subcontinent that the Great Temple was alive and thriving again. Devotees from distant states started making the long pilgrimage, pouring back into the city and totally restoring its bustling, vibrant energy.
Now, what's really interesting about this number is just how staggering it is. Fast forward to today, and this ancient structure, born from a king's dream a millennium ago, attracts over 10 lakh or 1 million visitors every single year. Think about the modern economic impact of that for a second. This temple currently supports the livelihoods of thousands of families who live right around it today. The ancient economic engine didn't stop, it just adapted to the modern world.
Conclusion: not just stone, it's culture.
When we step back and look at the incredible hero's journey of this temple, from a midnight dream to a sprawling construction site to an economic metropolis, surviving the darkest times of war, and then experiencing a massive modern revival, we have to recognize that it has evolved so far beyond its original blueprint. It has firmly become the very heart and soul of the community. So the crucial point is that a temple is a living, breathing representation of enduring human resilience. It's our history, the literal timeline of our ancestors' struggles and triumphs. It represents our culture, from the art and the music to the profound knowledge passed down through those ancient temple schools. And most importantly, it represents the people's unshakable faith. These structures survived because the people believed with all their hearts that they were worth saving.
I really want you to let this quote sink in for a second. A temple is not just a stone building, it is the memory of generations. Every single time you walk barefoot across the cool granite floors of an ancient Indian temple, you are walking on the exact same stones that 1,000 years of humanity have walked upon. Every pillar holds 1,000 stories. Every carving has witnessed weddings, festivals, tears, and triumphs. It is our absolute duty to understand this history and to protect these incredible monuments for the generations yet to come. So, I want to leave you with a thought to reflect on today. What is your town's oldest, most ancient temple? Do you know its history? Do you know what it survived or how it helped build the very community you live in today? I highly encourage you to look into it. Go ask the elders in your community and uncover the epic story resting right in your own backyard. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep exploring the incredible history hidden all